welcome to my next video. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for the collective, and I'm going to be doing a reading looking at job interviews. I feel as though I'm focusing on those applying for jobs and job interviews. So I'm going to put the cards into 3 piles and ask for you to take your own time to be able to focus on the pile and choose as to which pile you're drawn to, and then to see whether or not this actually resonates with you. Now, some people it's going to resonate. You'll tune in, and you'll get the pile that is meant for you, and it may even be that you decide to take, or you're drawn to take 2. There's no rules. You can take how many you wish, but yeah. So literally, if you are able to take it, then and it unfolds, etc. Because some of the things that obviously are going to be that are yet to be coming in, so it may take time. But if it's information that doesn't resonate with you and you don't understand it, then just to be able to dismiss it and let it go, okay? Because that is the nature of the collective, reading for the collective. Okay, so as I say, this feels as though I'm reading around job interviews, applying for jobs, or the thoughts of leaving a job as well. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm seeing the number 3, so I feel as though I'm needing to be taking, initially I'm going to do 3 piles of 3. Okay, and that's the first one. Gosh, this is a little bit fingers and thumbs. That's that one. Number 2, number 3. So that is our pile number 1. Pile number 2. Okay, and pile number 3. I'm going to choose a stone. I'm going to put on number 3. That one feels very relevant to go there. Old stone there. And I think I'm going to go with... Okay, so this is 1, 2 and 3. Right, okay, so let's put these over here. I'll start with number 1. So pile number 1. What can we know about the workplace? Applying for jobs. Right, okay. Right, interesting. So the 3 cards we've got. We're going to start with, first of all, these are actually very good cards. I feel as though that the thing that I'm drawn into, first of all, is the Strength card, and there's a few elements here that I want to focus on. I feel as though that some of you around this card that have chosen this particular pile have possibly been unwell, like in recovery. Maybe you've been off poorly, we've been sick, sick leave, that sort of feeling. Or maybe you've had time away from the workplace. I feel as though that my first point is I'm moving in with people here that are even sort of looking to be moving because of this reason, or changing hours and making some sort of changes with regards to either where they're working or the work, a new workplace, a new company. But I do feel as though the reason being is around through being poorly. And I feel the card that comes in with this as well, to sort of back it up, I feel as though that the Page of Cups, I feel as though that there is very much on the horizon, or what we're wanting. We're very much wanting to have, we're hopeful of having a change. We're hopeful of having a change in our hours, or lighter workload. So hopefully you'll be able to resonate with this. Now, I do feel that the first message that's coming in with these cards, and I know that I'm going to be going other places with the 3 cards as well, But I know that, but this is giving me this feeling that the Six of Pentacles, I feel as though that there needs to be some form of trade with this. Now, this is either that we are going, I feel as though this, the company that you're working for, or if you're moving on to a new workplace, it feels as though that it's like we're needing to be making as to what we can give to them, as to so what we can get in return. Now, it may well be that, I'm hoping this makes sense to you, but this does feel as though that it may well be that we're needing to be looking. I feel as though possibly looking at things from a different angle. I actually, as I'm saying this, I know where I'm going. First of all, I feel as though I'm needing to talk about the situation where I feel as though, first of all, I'm going on a complete. It's like I'm going off on a complete different route here, and it's as if like. I feel as though I'm talking with regards to the salary. I feel as though in some way salary is changing, whether this could be because the hours are dropping, or whether it's to be that we're going to a new company and we're taking a drop in the salary. I feel as though that this is all sort of part of. It's like we're being offered this, but we're going to be needing to be prepared to be paying or to be paid either a different hourly rate or a different. It could even be. Because it feels like it's a trade. If it could even be that we're paid differently. We're paid by it could be that someone who's been used to getting weekly pay is now going to a job where it's going to be monthly pay. It's that sort of thing. There seems to be some form of trade or change in what we are in making this particular change. Okay. I do feel as well, this does feel productive. It feels as though it is possible. It feels as though it could be happening. So if you're at the stage where you are returning to work, or you are feeling as though you wanted to get back into the workplace, or maybe it's that you've got disabilities and you're wanting to be have these disabilities sort of cared for. This does feel as though this is possible. I do feel as though the Strength card has given me this real it can be done feeling. If we even look at I put the card up here. If we look how the woman is so very much doing as to what seems to be the impossible, she's been able to manipulate and close the jaws of the lion. So this is very much around such a positive card that what it is possible to be able to do what we're wanting to do. It does feel as though it's out there. Obviously it's going to be whether or not we're able to. If we stay with the same employer, to be making the negotiations, or it may well be that we need to be moving on to a different employer. But I feel as though that the message really that's coming through is like we need to be prepared to be able to be adjusting on the salary. Okay, I'm going to take one more card just for that purpose before I go on to the different area. Right, okay, now the star. Again, we've got the possibility here. We've got this says it can happen again. It's certainly not a brick wall card. It's certainly a card that's getting out there. I do feel as though that I'm needing to. This is very much a card of being acknowledged, shining, showing somebody our full worth, what we're capable of. So if this is for you and you can understand this as well, you would be able to know that you'd understand the feeling as that you're needing to be showing as to what you are capable of doing. So that if let's just say you're needing to be going down to let's just say, right, okay, I'm going to give you what comes in. Let's just say you're wanting to sort of like virtually half your hours. You don't want to go back as a full-time, you want to go part-time. Then it's like getting the other person to job share with you, but you need to be able to show via the star that this is possible. This role can be done this way. You can do it via a job share. Or if it's like a situation where the role is normally you've got to do a certain amount of hours, and it's believed that this amount of hours are needed, you're needing to be able to show that in fact it can be done, or you're capable of doing it in a smaller amount of time. That makes sense. As I say, this feels. I feel that with this, that this is all systems go. This is possible to do. And if you're not, I feel as though the saying, no door should be there to be shut. No, there's no brick wall, because if you're seeing that you're coming up against any brick wall, I feel as though there needs to be. You look for the door. If you can't you've got the brick wall, you look for where the door or the way of the means of moving forwards. Now this could be by taking to other people, going to a different company, etc. But I do feel this feels as though it is positive. Okay. Now I'm going to put the star back or way over there, because I feel as though I'm still going back to the whole original layout, and I feel as though that I'm now talking about people that are. I feel as though that I'm with those who are looking to. We are looking to apply for a job. We're going to an interview. We're that sort of thing. I feel as though again around the strength. I feel putting these cards together. I feel as though I'm wanting to be saying to you, as if right. Again, I'm talking in regards to the salary. I feel as though that it feels to me as though the salary is either going to be a sticky point. It's as if like we're not going for one particular role that we're wanting, and it's because we're feeling as though it's not paying enough, or I wouldn't be. And I feel as though that I feel as though the same sort of principle. I feel as though we are needing. And I'm bringing the star back again. I feel as though we're needing to possibly apply for this job, go for this job. You may be seeing that we may be looking and seeing as to, okay, the pay grade is lower, but it's with this, go to the interview, shine, be that, say, well, I was wanting to do this, I'm capable of doing this, but I was hoping to be paid more on this particular grade or this particular salary. And I feel as though this is very much around that as well. Same sort of principles, but it's like don't restrict yourself simply because of literally as to what the Six of Pentacles are saying, that it's negotiating with regards to the salary. Again, I feel it does actually feel very, very positive. I'm going to take one more card here, and I feel as though I'm putting I'm taking one more card to go, but beneath the page of this one, right? The Page of Cups. Honestly, I do love it when I know that I have to take another card, and then the card comes out that it's so relevant to what I've just said. Right? Okay, Three of Pentacles. This is the same feeling. This is showing, if I'm going to put this card up here, and you'll see, this shows the chap that's up on the platform, and he is showing to the other two people as to what he is capable of. Okay, this is all about, now, bearing in mind it's come beneath the Page of Cups, so I do know that we are also talking, this would be on interview level, because that Page of Cup is before we're getting the offer. If we look at the Page of Cups, and again I'm going to hang on, let's switch that over as well. The Page of Cups, see how he's holding his cup, it's what he's hoping for, it's what he's seeing in this cup. He can see this fish and in his cup, and it's like, this is what he's going for, this is his goals, and it's very much a card of good, or the Page is bringing bringing news of some type, and the Page of Cups he's a good news. His news is one of the ones that brings in good news. So, and also what I often find with the Page of Cups, it's like on a sort of a weird sort of turn. We tell that play the game. Be as to, especially when it's coming out, especially when the Page of Cups is coming out with the Three of Pentacles, it's showing them as to what they're wanting to see, being who they're wanting you to be. So do you know, like being prepared with the answers, looking up before going for the job interview, before, make sure you study the company well, be ready with the answers, what they're likely, even sort of run through scenarios with somebody, or even someone who's got these skills of having many interviews, run through as to brush up on your interview skills, what I'm trying to say really. But the Page of Cups is very much open in sharing as to what good news, what the possibilities are for them, what they can do, what I can do for you, what I can do for the company, etc. The Three of Pentacles, separate on a side note, when we have the Three of Pentacles representing work, it's one of the master cards, so it's doing the job well. So run the interview well, sell yourself well. That is what that's the whole sort of thing of it, really, selling yourself well. Okay, I'm going to draw that bit to a close. I hope that has helped you. I do feel as though that these are positive cards. You've sort of found me today. You've now drawn in. You've took your pile, and if this is a situation that's around you at the moment, maybe could even be you're at the early steps, you're thinking about moving and changing a job, taking a different job, then please take the message of the cards on board, because it is saying that anything is possible, but it really is like showing your skills, putting out there as to what literally you're able to do and selling yourself. Okay, good luck to you. Okay, so let's move over to pile number 2. Right, okay. Lovely. I feel as though I'm going to take, actually, I feel as though I'm taking this card here, top. Right, Nine of Pentacles as well. Right, okay. So, the card that I'm going straight in. It's like literally, it feels like it's quite the main focus of the reading here. It feels centered around the Nine of Swords. And I'll put that just up here. Right, okay. Now, I think the imagery on the card itself, it speaks for itself in many ways. I feel as though that this would be suggesting that there's some sleepless nights around this applying for jobs. You know, where am I going to? I feel as though not only is it like not hearing back from job interviews, or it's like being put in a position. It feels like I'm in this sort of state of mind because of the position I'm in, that I'm needing to be finding the job. I don't feel as though all of you are necessarily wanting to be out looking, but maybe it's like needs must. It's that sort of feeling. I feel around the card that's overseeing this, that brings in the energy to all three. I do feel as though with the Nine of Pentacles, this is like a change of. Yeah, I feel many of you would be able to understand that it's because there needs to be a change in the actual income, or there needs to be this. It was either because we're needing more hours, or we're needing a greater pay. Nines are very much around that. It's like I often have any of the nines coming in when there's methods, or there's means of changing something in some way. Now you've got two cards here as well that are nines, so it does feel as though to me as though this needs to be something that's addressed, or something that is very much dealt with, to be feeling as though we're back on, we're rolling again. Okay, so this does, when we're having this kind, I'm going to take one more actually to go over that Nine of Pentacles. I feel as though that this is suggesting that you are going to be looking for this change of salary. Right. Wonderful. Right, we've got the Queen of Pentacles that's come out again. Now, this again, she comes out, the Queen of Pentacles, when we are talking around, she's the perfect money manager. Okay, so she's the perfect one for budgeting, working out our plan. So this does again suggest to me that a lot of this around this applying for a new job is a great influence as regards to the money. Maybe you're paying too much money for transport for getting there, or maybe commuting, or maybe there's too much expenditure involved within the job, or it's just literally like you're needing to be having more of an income to be able to to make it worth your while as such. Or you could even be increasing your hours. But I do feel as though that these two are playing quite an important voice here when they're talking with regards to the managing of the money as well. Okay, so I'm going to ask us another card here. Again, I'm not stopping at just the basic cards. Right, the Nine of Pentacles. I'm just asking us to how we're going to be relieving this. Okay, lovely. Now, Ace of Swords. So this is literally like taking the bull by the horns, that sort of feeling, like literally sort of biting the bullet and getting on and sorting things. So this feels as though this is going to be, yes, you may be having this period of, some of you it's going to be literally as like in that, in the imagery, sleepless nights, struggle with mental health, anxiety, and it will always seem to be like in the middle of the night. It's like waking up, and it's like literally, it's always at the time as to when nothing can be done, is it? You overthinking, over worrying, running through things in a very busy mind, but then it's just a matter of calming things down. Now, when we have the Ace of Swords, and it's straight away brought the answer in for me. The Ace of Swords also will come in with regards to mental clarity, and it's getting things into perspective in our mind. So sorting out the mind and the headspace. Maybe sometimes I can see these cards coming in where possibly needing to relax ourselves down a little bit, maybe do some positive thinking or mindsets, and meditation even when sort of going to sleep. I will be bringing some meditations, thinking of that, I do actually do meditations for people, so I will be putting some down on the channel, which may sort of help people in the future anyway, but they're not there just yet. Right, okay, but going back to the cards, so yes, this is like the Ace of Swords. It's like getting things very much into, this is all about getting things into control. you know, feeling as though that you're the one that's in control and not the racing thoughts are in control. So that is very, 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 I can understand how that would be so a correct answer, really. I can see why that card's come in for us. Now, when we're moving forwards here, bearing in mind the question we're asking around jobs, the workplace, moving forwards, changes in our employment. We've got the Chariot card. I've got a couple of things that are coming in, as always, and I feel as though, first of all, I'm talking with regards to, again, this feeling of getting these things into practice, getting things, plans going. I feel as though I'm needing to be saying to you to be mindful of, just to be watching as to where you are looking for the jobs to be. And it could well be, this comes in and why I'm saying this, it could well be that you're looking to apply for a job that's not necessarily at the place where you think you would be going, if that makes sense. It could well be that it's on a temporary measure, maybe that you're applying for one job and they're sending you off for training for a while. But I do feel as though there's an element of that, just to be checking also with regards to like distances of being travelling. But overall, I do feel as though the Chariot is coming in on a very positive note here. It does feel as though like it's very much it's like willpower, determination, backing ourselves in, putting the seatbelt on, ready to be very much moving forwards. I do feel as though there's going to be some of you that are going to be going in quite a different direction, possibly going off, where you're used to be doing one particular trade or a particular skill, that you're going to be going off and maybe going like a different angle, going on trying something a little bit different, which does actually feel quite positive. I'm going to take another card to go with that, actually, to come in with that. This does feel quite positive. It's like somebody who's already doing, let's just say, one particular trade, decides to go, for some reason, the example I've been given is like, odd. I feel as though like someone who's in sort of like the industry, say like the food industry, going, let's say like catering or something like that, looking to now go into, specialising in one particular, or vice versa. Especially, does something general in catering, looking to go into something that's more specific. Or someone, like into baking or that sort of thing, or the other way around, somebody that's into something that's very specialised, being more open, going into something that's more general. Okay, that hopefully will sort of play out to some of you that would understand. Well, will understand that anyway. Okay. Now, again, that's just literally as to what I've just been saying. It's like the Knight of Wands is very much around changes and being prepared to take on changes and seek changes. So I do feel as though there's going to be an element of that around many of you. It's like adjusting things, being prepared to just, it's not being on the same route and the same road and only looking as to what's in front of you, thinking, okay, maybe I'll be able to do that, and maybe this can be, incorporate other things as well, try other things as well. Okay, the last card and the Hangman. Now, my initial feeling with this, when we see the Hangman, it's like, I feel as though I need to be saying to you not to be necessarily rushing. I feel as though there is going to be many of you that will be able to identify with it's not taking the first option or the first choice. I feel as though that there is going to be, even though there's many of you who are in this particular state of mind thinking, what is happening, I'm wanting things to be changed. I do feel as though the Hangman is giving us this like, you're going through like this period of like the enlightenment. I'm very much around the halo, and enlightenment, seeing things, and the whole sort of essence of this card, the Hangman. He hasn't got to be hanging there, okay? He is literally, he's suspended, and he's it's like a pause, a little pause for a moment. And I feel as though possibly, right, okay, I know what's coming in now. I feel as though possibly we're being told two things with this card. I feel as though that I want to be saying to you, not necessarily to be rushing into the first thing that comes. It's not, or it's not going to be a quick process. It could well be that what is rightly coming to you, it needs to be sort of unfolding in its own time. Right, okay. On another note, I do, again, and this is coming straight in again, I feel as though that it's like we're looking at something from the same sort of principle over here, looking at something from a different angle. Can I do that? Would this also apply for me? Is that sort of scenario? I feel as though that, I do. I feel as though that it's like I'm looking at this chap on this card, and I'm going to put this up here so you're able to see. It's like I'm looking at him, and it's like literally he could get up and sort of untie his leg, and he would be able to literally get himself down, and he would, you know, that sort of thing. I feel. Yeah, and sort of like look around. It's weird, right? As I'm seeing this, it's like I'm literally can see like a vision of him sort of untying his leg, getting down, and then having a little sort of walk around. You know, walking around, and so, I feel as though it's like it's just saying sort of like assessing the situation, seeing. Right, okay, weird. It's like going out and seeing the situation. Do you know? I feel as though there is going to be many of you that will be saying things have very much changed since you last applied for a job, or there's a different way of doing things. It could even be that we're looking and saying go back and look over your CV, like things have very much changed since you last went for a job. So literally the word in there. But this does feel, as I'm looking at him, it's like literally, as I say, he could untie and get himself down, and it's sort of like he's assessing. He's going literally going around checking. So this is, I feel as though the wording really sort of like getting ourselves out there, really looking around. Okay, I'm going to take one more card for him just because of this. I'm intrigued. Right, let's have a little look. Okay, Hangman, what more can you be telling us? Right, okay. Now, when we are seeing the Four of Wands, and again, I'm going to take Mr. Hangman down. I'm going to put up Four of Wands. Now, if we look at that card, that is that comes in on different levels. Okay, we see this card where it's first of all, it's a all yellow card. So it's very positive. We know that there's going to be success, and I feel as though he is telling us that by doing this, by getting ourselves out there, by maybe sort of doing things that you've not necessarily done before. And again, that same wording's coming in. Things have changed since you last looked for a job. That sort of scenario. I feel as though that it's like you will be. This is where we will see the greatest success. Is getting ourselves very much out there. As I'm saying this, I feel as though I need to be saying to those of you, if you get the chance of going to any sort of job fair or anything, like there's a grouping, what's that thing where they go and they sort of like a networking thing, you know, that sort of thing. I feel as though it's going anyway into, it could even be an open day for a company, you know, a new business or a business having an open day, that sort of thing. I feel as though that putting ourselves out there into, like, it's literally into a venue where they're sort of discussing the roles and or the jobs. I feel as though this feels to be like quite a very informative and a positive, lifting us up as well. Okay, but we can only see success in this card. This is certainly not anything other than positivity. Okay, if I just done two negatives there, I think what I'm trying to say is that this is certainly a positive card. Okay, this is a cause for celebration. If we even look at the imagery, we can see on the card how there's this. It looks like a celebration. It looks like a place of celebrating. So I do feel as though, and they're even sort of holding up those poses with glee, and you know they're celebrating. So this is very much around success and positivity. So please, you know, if you are given that opportunity, it doesn't feel as though it's a bad thing to sort of go along and see as to what is being offered or being shown around with regards to a particular company, or even as a job fair. I don't know whether or not they have them. We have these in the UK anyway, but if they have these, you have these in other countries, America, etc. Then it's like a place where there's many employers all going at one particular time advertising the jobs that they've actually got relevant. It could even be like a particular, let's say it's a retail park and there's many jobs that have all got advertising at the same time, and they have an event. It's something on the lines of that. Okay. Right, okay, I'm going to draw the cards in. So I think that's it now for pile 2. I hope that resonates with you and it gives you some form of positivity looking forwards. And let's now move on to pile number 3. Right. Okay, now these cards for me do suggest, pile number 3, This is like a dramatic change in some way. So we've either felt as there is a need to be changing the job. There is a need. Now, that need could either be because there is redundancy, or there is literally a change in the role. The job's not the same as it was, or there's a fallout at the company. But when we've got the Tower card, there is like a change that we possibly didn't see coming, or the need that we didn't see coming. And also, one of the things, and again, I'll put this card up here. If we were to look at this card, you will see at the base of the Tower, the foundations. Very clever imagery here. The foundations are not sound, they're not solid. So this would often suggest, and if I'm drawn to this in the reading, then this is when I share it. But this feels to me as though this change that's happened, or the thing that's unfolding that you're seeing as this need to be changing your job, it's like it was very much in many ways inevitable. It's as if like it may well be it was a long time coming, but it doesn't feel as though it was necessarily a solid foundation that in the first place, if that makes sense. Hopefully many of you will be able to take that. So it's not necessarily anything of your doing. It could well be that it was, it's not as I say, it wasn't solid it wasn't like your life job forever anyway. That could be on the simplest form. Okay, so I'm going to take another card with that. Before I do that, actually, I'm going to take the top one. And I'm right, okay. So again, now having these two together, again, it's just backing that up. When we've got the Ten of Swords, it's like we're literally forced in this position. So this would suggest to me that doesn't necessarily feel. I mean, obviously this is going out to the collective, so there's going to be many of you that are going to get this card, and it's your decision literally to go. And however, it does feel that for the majority of people here, it's like it's either that there is no option, or it's like the inevitable move. If you can't understand that, it could well be that it's the inevitable move. It's like we're at the stage where we've reached the limit. Now, this could be reaching the limit because of how we're being treated or what's going on around us, but it literally could be that we're reaching a limit because there's no chance of promotion, or maybe somebody else has been given the promotion. It's like that sort of thing unfolding. Now, I do feel in the Ten of Swords, that I feel a little bit of an ouch feeling. So this is like as though, there's going to be many of you that would understand if you're feeling quite hurt by it. Now, this could either be by the way you've been treated, or the way that maybe you've handed your notice in, or you're letting them know you're moving on, and you're not being treated fairly. Or maybe it could even be that your colleagues, you're feeling as though you're having to do this because you're not. Your colleagues are not who you wish to remain working with, that sort of feeling. But these two coming in together, as I say this, I'm really drawn to the two that are coming out the Tower, the two people that come out the Tower together. So I do feel as though it's not necessarily you. Now, you only in this position. So there's either going to be others also looking, or there's others that are feeling the same way. So yeah, okay. One thing I would say is, and I'm drawn to it again, so this is when I share it. When you look at the chap, let's put the Ten of Swords up here. The Ten of Swords, you see his hand, his arm, there it's coming out. And that actual symbol that he's doing with his fingers is actually a symbol that's very much like quite symbolic, in like as above, as below. But it also can be seen as in like, what is that? What's the saying? Hang on, it's got to come to me now. It was in there, now it's gone. This is my menopause brain. It's that feeling as though like a gift from the universe, or as if like meant to be. It's that sort of thing. As to when the end result will be. It will come to me in a minute. It come to me in a minute. But like the end result was always meant to be in the end. So it's like you're probably all shouting at the screen now because you probably know the actual saying. It will come to me in a minute. But that sort of feeling as though this was all very much meant to be. So, or it will be that it unfolds when you look back and think, well, I'm glad that if you're in a position now where you're not really wanting to be moving or changing job or looking for a job, it may well be that it sort of turns around, look back in the end and think it was very much meant to be. They've done you a favour, that sort of thing. Right, okay. So back over to, I feel as though we're going to the Tower and jumping onto the Page of Swords. Now the Page of Swords, again, I feel as though I'm coming on two levels here. I feel as though that we are being literally told to be look everywhere. But the Page of Swords is very much the detective card. We are looking, we are checking, check everything you can be, even going back on things. You know, like when you feel as though you've checked something, go and check it again. You know, and why I'm seeing this is let's just say there's a way, whatever method you are looking for jobs, it's like an update comes in. It's like you've just checked it and you think you've checked it, and then I don't know, one of them also it's different for different countries, but let's just say in the UK we have different recruitment agencies that will be updating information, and if you feel as though you've just literally gone in and you have just checked their information, but it feels as though you come away from that and something can go straight in, this is what it feels like, a quick update of something, and just to be checking, to be on the ball, really checking. Also with the Page of Swords, as well as being Tarot's wonderful little detective and you know, being on the ball, checking everything, I do feel as though there's many I feel he has to, there's often a case of speaking up for himself, and I feel as though possibly if you look in here how he's looking back at this, so it may well be that you've had to speak up for yourself, or you know, this is part of speaking up for yourself, like moving on. But I do feel as though there's some of you that are going to be going through those that have chosen this path, that you know, as if you're possibly putting somebody in their place, or literally that. It could even be like making sure that you're getting the references that you were rightly due, that sort of thing. Okay, now I'm going to take another card to go with this little page, because I'm just see as to any more information this page can be giving us. Ah, the Lovers, right, okay. Now, this feels, I feel here, I'm coming in on, again, I've got two things that have shot straight in. I'm going to share both, okay. I feel as though, first of all, the Lovers will often, it doesn't always have to relate to partners, and I feel as though my first point of call, I'm talking about other people that we work with. Whether this is like a close colleague we work with, it's not necessarily like a boss, anything like that. It's normally, if we're talking with regards to the workplace, it would be someone that, you know, we have close ties with, someone you know, that we have to sort of get teams, people we have to get along, work well with. So I do feel as though when I'm talking about regards to this, I feel as though that I feel it could possibly be that we're putting somebody else in the picture. We're letting them know what we're doing, or we're actually putting somebody in their place. I feel there's an element to that. Also, I want to say it could well be, I feel as though that I mentioned that other people are doing the same thing as well. I feel as though that you're not going to be the only one that is going to be making this changes. Also, on another note, I feel as though I'm going to be sort of calling out to some of you out there who possibly there's others that are not wanting you to be doing, or see, right. This can come in with regards to partners, obviously, with it being the Lovers card, but also it can come in regards to choices. So there's when one particular card has so many different, it expands to so many different sort of situations and areas. And I do feel as though that I'm first of all going to this point with regards to our partners, or this is as in partners, as in a relationship, or others that are very much connected to us. And I know that I'm talking with regards to they are possibly not wanting us to either change job or to go into the job that, or to the career that we are wanting to be doing. What I'm trying to say is, in some way, possibly that this change or what you have in mind with regards to a new job is possibly not as to what is going to fall in place for them. Maybe in some way it inconveniences them, and you could well be finding that you have some form of opposition with regards to it. What I feel as though is you're not necessarily getting the full support from someone that is you would have thought would have been on your side as such. Of course, it's not going to apply to everybody out there, but I feel as though there is going to be many of you where it's like, oh, they're not wanting you to go to that part because this would mean on that particular day I can't do that. You know, that sort of thing. I don't know. Maybe you share a car or a vehicle or transport or children or childcare, but it feels as though there is an element where you've got input as to what you can and can't do, and it's because and the input. I mean, obviously we've all got to work in harmony, and we can't all do our own thing. That's life. But I do feel as though there is going to be some of that. So maybe there needs to be a little bit of negotiation there as well. So that's on that side of it. And I say the other option of coming in with the choices. I feel as though there is some choices. Maybe we need to be, like trying to make it work both ways. Trying to keep doing what we wanting to doing, but trying to find a way where we're able to, be able to sort the childcare out, or we're able to do it where you're able to do certain days or certain hours. Okay, right. It doesn't feel negative. Maybe more of a hindrance than a negative, really. Okay, let's move over to, and this is just on this particular part, and then I'm going to gather them up. And I'm going to have a look. Well, we're going to have a look at it. Look at the same cards actually, but in a different light. Okay, different idea. Right. Okay. Let's put that one there. Oh, right. Good. Now, again, this when we've got the moon card, there's another side to something. Okay, so there literally we are. There's either another side to the subject, or there's more to be looking at. Now it's weird because the moon has come out right next to the page of swords. The card representing looking into everything, checking everything. Well, this is very much around things being hidden. Now it could well be that we need to be looking into something that maybe you weren't going to be looking into. Let's wait. Do you know, as I'm saying this, I feel as though I'm going back around to here. I'm going back to here as well. So I don't know whether or not for some of you this could have been playing out, whereas maybe references are not going to be given to the best they could be. Again, clarity. We're not being, things are being hidden, not being. Maybe these people over here are not wanting for you to be changing job, so then they're making things a little bit more of a mystery to the new firm or to your new business. A new company, so that it makes it look, I feel as though in some way there is going to be some sort of cross connection here as well. I'm going to take another card to go over that in connection to that part of it being a little bit of a mystery, things not being, I feel as though that also we need to be noting, because this card can come out when there's untruths. And it can be that there can be outright lies. It can well be we're looking at jobs and things are being told, and it's really, really not what is going on, or the job is not as advertised. But at the same time, I feel as though there is a side of it where I just feel as though we're making sure that we are not leaving any sort of stone unturned, just to be looking and checking people. I feel as though that people what we're being told is to be double checking things anyway. Okay, let's just take another card, see if it gives me any more. Again, see, we've got the Master card there, so that is really much showing when this comes out in anything with regards to the work and the workplace. We're literally up. If we were, put that card up there, if we were the chap that's standing on the bench, we are showing others. We're showing others who we are, what we can do, etc. And I feel as though when he's coming out with the moon, I feel as though that we're not to be sort of making anything. Everything's got to be shown. Everything's got to be very much out in the open and sort of clear. It can well be that this is suggesting that an interview may not be as clear as we were hoping. Maybe we're being told things, that are not necessarily the truth. Because we can be told untruths with the moon card, or maybe it's that, and it could even be that for some of you will be finding, because the moon's very much with the tide, the going in, the going out, the going in, going in. It could even be that things start, that there's a change, something that's offered that then they retract on as such. Okay, but I do feel as though that overall, this does. I feel as though we're bringing. This is very much feels to me bringing something very much out into the open. making something very clear, whether this is making sure at the interview we're very open with what we can do, what we're wanting, and to be sort of like being very drawing out of them as so we know exactly what we are getting, what we're going into really. Okay, now I want to take back the ones that were the extra ones, and I want to read these 3 cards with regards to I just feel drawn to do this, so I'm going to. I feel as though literally with regards to applying for a job, I feel it's for those of you who are literally applying for a job, how these cards and in what order they will be coming in. All right, okay. Now, I feel as though, again, I'm drawing on, and I feel as though that we are looking at a situation where, with regards to applying for a particular job, I feel as though I'm needing to be, it's like I'm wanting you to be checking. I feel like it's weird because I feel like I could draw a heart. I feel like I could draw literally, there's a heart up here, isn't it? So I feel as though I could draw a heart. And I feel as though it's like there's a job we are particularly looking for, or we are going into, and we're applying for even, let's say. And I feel as though that you are needing to be sort of checking all the facts. I don't know whether or not this is, and I feel as though I'm just going to go, this feels quick. I feel as though this is not necessarily a full reading, but this is like a quick sort of points really. I feel as though that it's like we are needing to be just checking as to what the job's all about, what it entails, what is the truth, what are the hours, and even finding out from others as to what the actual role is, or what the company I like to work for. Because I feel as though there is this. I feel as though the Wheel of Fortune, like we're in a situation where this sort of says we are moving forwards, but and it's like when we have the Wheel of Fortune, it's like very much around fate moving things, time moving forwards, things unfolding as they meant to be, but often I will see this card when it hasn't been that way as well. So we've had it where we're now finding things starting to pick up and starting to move forwards. It does feel as though, I want to say, as though with it, and especially when it's near the moon, I'm not 100% convinced that you are going to be told everything up front. I feel as though that this feels to me as though that there's putting these 2 together, and as I say, sometimes I don't have this often, but I do feel as though that it's not necessarily everything's going to be up front, and I don't know whether or not this is sort of saying she'd be looking at contracts if you get offered the job, or even at the stage of the interview. It's sort of like making sure you dig deeper. It's checking things, and I'm not saying that they're trying to be sort of like deliberately trying to fraud you or something, defraud you, or try and do anything that's against what they should be doing, anything criminal, anything like that. I'm not sort of going that way, but like as if saying, like as if, and this is the most simplest terms, like when they're advertising a salary, but to actually get that salary, you would be having to sort of achieve, so it could be like it's on target earnings, or to saying, oh yes, well it's advertised as being like, I don't know, 3.5 day week, but in reality no one ever gets the 3.5, their work done in 3.5 days, so everyone's always there in the 4, that sort of scenario, and just to see how that unplays. Now obviously it's not going to apply to all of you. Some of you this is going to be, you can totally dismiss it. However, I do feel as though in some form it may come into you where it's just to be checking as to what what are they relaying to, or how they're selling the company, how they're selling it to you. Is it really how it really is to all those that work there? Okay. Yeah, it doesn't. Again, I don't, and I feel as though this is more here, like we've. And do you know why? As I'm saying this as well, I feel as though I'm looking at these cards, not even really looking at these cards, and I know it's because as I say this, it comes straight in. It's because we don't want to be ending up going back to this. We don't want to be ending up going to a situation where we're feeling as though we don't want to be there. and we're having to be walking away and leaving, and it's because we didn't actually do our bit here of checking everything, because you know, is it really what we are wanting to be doing? Okay, I'm going to draw that to a close then. I hope you've enjoyed the reading. Please do to each pile. Maybe some of you have taken one pile 1 or pile 2, and you know, a couple of piles. But I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any questions or any comments, please do pop them below. It'd be lovely to hear from you. Yeah, do feel I do feel free to comment. I'd like that. But also please like and subscribe. I'm trying to build up and grow the channel, and that would really help me, and I'd be grateful for that. Okay. Other than that, I'm wishing you the well. I hope that it all moves forward good for you, perfect for you, and you get the job that you rightly deserve and the one that you love. Okay. Thank you again. Bye for now.